So to know that Kamala Harris is totally unqualified to be the president of the United States, you don't have to take a deep dive into her policy proposals or a voting record in the United States Senate or anything else that matter. You just got to take a look at her. You just got to watch her and realize that this woman at the helm of our country would be catastrophically dangerous to every man, woman, and child in America. We know President Trump knows how to be president. This person does not know how to get through the day. I'm sorry. Seriously, what is up with the laugh? This is from a few years back. She is a United States Senator. You know, she's only been running for what, 3 months, maybe? Has not been adequately vetted. Can anybody explain really the laughter? And also, and I have no idea what could be going on here, but she scratches her nose an awful lot. Take a look.
I was like, Mommy, you know, the thing about this, I always wanted to go to Howard, and I went to Howard. And actually, it was in February of 2004. Olives with cream cheese on dark rye. And so it's remember, I'm a prosecutor. I have focused on that. I mean, in a nutshell. Yeah.
What's going on there? It's whatever it is. I want her to be healthy and happy and not president. This laughing crazily at stuff that's not funny, there's something not adding up. Keep going.
Important is that we also appreciate the nuance. You know, there's a lot to do. There's a lot more to do. Who's over the age of 18 as though they're an adult. You know, because it was doubling it, right? Right, where poor people sit in jail and people who have money get out, that there is no difference between those, any of the kids, our kids, and those kids who are otherwise in the system. So, for example, not sell you a bag of you-know-what.
So I've heard the left tries to say it's misogynistic to talk about her laugh. No, it's fair. Actually, Donald Trump takes deep breaths. I know the nightly news has done, why does Donald Trump take so many deep breaths? What is up with the laughter? And what's this nonsense all about? It gets worse.
They are in California now, but New Jersey is very much in them.
Everybody has stopped laughing. That's where it gets really uncomfortable for the people around. There's something off. There's something certainly not presidential. We can't take this risk. And also, it's just not that funny. Keep going.
And then, you know, and they're originally from Brooklyn. Okay, so the first time I meet my mother-in-law, she looks at me, she puts my face in her hand. So it's Barb and Mike, my father-in-law's Mike. She puts my face in her hand, she looks at me and she says, "Oh, look at you. You're prettier than you're on television. Mike, look at her." No.
There's something known as having too good a time and being too comfortable, too at ease, too relaxed.
And it was about finally making lynching a federal crime. You know, I was slow to sign on to it because I really felt it didn't do enough. Years ago, created a juvenile justice system. Political capital doesn't gain interest. So no need to just let it sit there. You might as well spend it.
So you see the highs and the lows, and it's almost, it's a little bit manic. And I still see this. I don't know what's happening, no idea. But this is not too long ago in Pennsylvania.
Madam Vice President, how are you feeling about Pennsylvania?
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown, and I will be continuing to travel around the state.
People deserve to be seen and heard. You know, she's not at breakfast with Doug. She's on national display. And there's something crazily too comfortable and relaxed about this whole package. I now know why the generals, so many of them, seem to want to work for her, huh? I mean, they're doing everything they can to sabotage President Trump. I'll get to these gossips, these silly gossips who have undermined their oath, who have no business wearing the uniform. They had no business wearing the uniform, some of them when they are on active duty. We have a major problem. These guys, they're all about a soft coup, I do believe. I'll get to them in a moment. But first, it was always with Donald Trump a matter of when, not if. You know, it's become very fashionable over the past couple of years, actually all the way back to when President Trump came down the escalator. The only reason why is because he has a reality TV show. They made a reality TV star president. Remember that stuff?
Say that it was The Apprentice that allowed Donald Trump to become president and really put him on the map, made him a household name.
The Apprentice, a TV show. It's all about that TV show. Right, hysterical woman on liberal cable news?
This just shows what an ultimate fraud he is, and that his entire career was made as a reality show, heavily edited TV star.
All right, so this is nonsense. It is a fake news myth / fantasy that Donald Trump was made by NBC and The Apprentice. Most recently, let's see here, there's a guy named John Miller who used to work at NBC for a long time, and he thinks he's the guy who actually made Trump president because he advertised The Apprentice show.
He was very good at selling himself. He was very good at telling what he did without actually doing it. And to a large degree, he followed along what maybe he learned what we did in the show because we created the persona for him and he went along with it, and that was very much advantage to him. But to a large degree, not true.
All right, this is such a scam, by the way, this whole thing. And he writes essays and he gets on the fake news. I am sorry, America. We created a TV fantasy for The Apprentice. And he actually apologizes. I want to apologize to America. I helped create a monster. As if The Apprentice show made Donald Trump president. It did not hurt. It was but part and parcel with everything he had already been doing for decades. People have been speculating about Donald Trump's presidential future since before he was old enough to be president. Here he is in the early 1980s. He's 34 years old. This is his debut on national television. I think it's an amazing moment.
For some people, the ultimate goal in life has been becoming the President of the United States. Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would run it, but I would like to see somebody as the President who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country. I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it as somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular. Wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile.
Very thoughtful. Hey, no great brain, big smile. Kind of sounds like Joe. Kind of sounds like Kamala. He's predicting the future. That's 1980, 81. When does The Apprentice actually get on television? 2004. All right? Decades ahead of time. When did he become president? 1981. They're asking him, do you want to be president? 36 years later. This is very much in keeping with traditional presidents. Men, not yet a woman, but men of influence, fame, and prestige for many decades before they're considered eligible for the top job. Oprah Winfrey, I mean, she saw it. She could feel it, right, Oprah?
We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me, and I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't.
When Oprah was cool, she was so cool at one point. the presidency and Donald Trump, it was almost like predestination. There was so much speculation, so much fascination. Hey, Tim Russert, he's no daytime talk show host. Tim Russert, the late, great Tim Russert, Meet the Press, 5 years before the Apprentice show goes on TV.
Why are you joining the Reform Party?
Well, for one thing, I really believe the Republicans are just too crazy right. I mean, just what's going on is just nuts. And I'm seeing the Democrats as far too, I mean, Bradley and Gore are so liberal, it's just too liberal for me. And I really think they've hit a chord. They've hit a very good chord. And I guess I'm very popular in that party, and it certainly looks that way.
Talking about running as an independent potentially all the way back in 1999. And when he was talking about the Republican Party, talking about Pat Buchanan, he did not get along with Pat Buchanan. He was a little bit too right for him. So I want to show you something else. Time magazine in the late 1980s, 1989 actually, big chunk of that article was about him being president someday, potentially. So again, 1981 to 2017, a 36-year elapsed time before he actually gets the big job. When the speculation starts and he actually, this is so in keeping with the great 20th century and not so great 20th century presidents. Ronald Reagan became internationally famous, if you will. When was it? 1947. House Un-American Activities. 34 years later, becomes president of the United States. This is how it worked. You had to be somebody for a very long time before you could become president. Richard Nixon. How about him? He was 23 years at politics before he becomes president. George H.W. Bush. He was ambitious, but it took him 21 years to get the big job. Gerald Ford. Let's keep doing this. How long for him? 25 years. Eisenhower. He's one of the ones on the low end. Internationally famous for just 12 years, but still double digits. John F. Kennedy. How many years? 15 years. Lyndon Johnson. I want to keep doing this. It's 26 years. Bill Clinton. How many years for him? 14. And then, folks, we hit the 21st century, right? Kamala Harris wants to be president. How long has she been on the national scene? 8 years. Single digits. Barack Obama becomes president. How long had he been around? 4 years. Are you kidding me? And Republicans, too. George W. Bush, 6 years? That's just not enough. Donald Trump, how many was it? 36 years, 36 years. And I like this moment. You know, I showed you Donald Trump getting that question when he's 34 years old. Does he want to be president? His debut on national television. You want to see Kamala Harris's debut on national television? It was as the side piece of Willie Brown.
He's a rogue, all right, notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle. Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women.
Are you his daughter? No, I'm not.
That's it. Welcome to national fame, huh? Are you his daughter? No, I'm not. I'm not even married to the guy. I know he's married to someone else, but I just hang around him. He's a powerful man, and he's hooking me up in all kinds of ways. America, we can and must do so much better.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.